Hello and welcome back to Terrain by Aaron, where I try and make stuff out of junk. And today's build is simple, trying to make a cargo ship for my Star Wars universe. So that meant I took a deep dive into the recycling bin, found an old dispenser that dispensed soap, I guess, and then started to cut it down. Always remember, if you're using these sort of kind of plastic bottles, make sure it's all sanded down so then things will get a better stick to them. You'll thank me later.
That, boys and girls, was a public service announcement from TBA. You're welcome.
And if you're new to the channel, that's George. Say hello, George.
Hello, George. You're all beautiful, sexy people.
Do you mind if I get on with the narration now?
Go ahead, big boy. I've things to do. Like washing my hair. I'll check back later. Peace, everyone.
Okay, thanks for that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting some engines on the spaceship, just using some I think like yogurt bottles or something. This is EVA foam. You can buy it from all hobby shops. I bought a great big pack, and what I'm doing, I'm just going to edge the rough edges with the EVA foam, so it just covers up all little mistakes that I've made along the way.
Oh my, this is good stuff.
Thanks, George, I appreciate that.
I'm not talking about your build. I'm talking about Morrigan's creations. He's gone full OnlyFans in his latest video.
What? I thought you were washing your hair, not watching a YouTube video from a rival YouTuber. May I just mention that?
I never knew you could make painting a little miniature sound so sexy. He's wetting his fingers and keeping it moist. I don't think my diodes can take much more.
Ah, I know what you're on about. He's cutting up a Nurgle to make some kind of different Nurgle.
Well, he's certainly nurgled my diodes. I'm going to lie down in a dark room now. Laters, dude.
Okay, bye for now, George. Okay, so now he's gone, we can get back to normality. What I'm doing now is just adding some piping, which is just basically garden wire. It's the kind that has the plastic around it. And then I wanted for different texture on the rockets, and this sweet tray was ideal and the correct size as well, which was amazing. So I just carefully cut out everything and then glued it down to the actual rockets. Once all that was done, it was then on to making the actual cargo container. So finding a box that was the right dimensions that would fit the spaceship, I then got some corrugated cardboard. Again, you can buy that from all different hobby shops, and just cut it down to size and then glued it onto the actual box. I kind of realised that this would look like a normal container that we have at the moment, you know, the shipping containers, but then thought, well, you know, Star Wars, the kind of, yes, they have fantastic spaceships, but for cargo it would probably be the same sort of thing as what we have now. I thought you were laying down in a dark room.
Oops. My bad. I was looking for my blanket. It's pretty dark in the box you keep me in.
Mental note to self, put a lock on that box. So to cover up all the bad cuts that I've made on the cardstock, I'm just going to use some coffee stirrers to cover all the edges and to make it all nice and neat. And then I'm just going to put this on because I needed the cargo box to sit stabilized, so it's just something quick and easy to do, which was just some balsa wood. Then for a quick engine, it was just a lid from some bottle or something, and then some plastic mesh. I think this plastic mesh is for the garden. I think it's to stop the leaves getting into your drains. Again, you can get that from, we call it the Euro store, you call it Michael's or the dollar store. Then I used some more cardboard from another empty box and just cut it down to size because I wanted to put some wings on it and try something different this time to make it more Star Warsy than some of my previous builds. So I've added a ton of super glue because the wings have a slight curvature and I just wanted to make sure it all stuck down. And then what I'm doing is I just cut out of the random spare cardstock I had just little panels that I'm just going to add just for detailing, and I'm going to put that on the underneath and the top of the wing. The reason why I'm using cardboard is simply because, like I said, it's got a slight curvature and it's easier to just slightly bend the cardboard. And then to give this detail a little bit more detail, I've just cut up some smaller little pieces of card and stuck them down and then stuck that onto the spaceship. Now this is where it gets a little bit more Star Warsy. We've all seen the Star Wars spaceships and they have all these panel lines on them. So what I'm doing is I'm just with just a pencil and a flexible ruler, I'm just making lines all along the wings, as you can see there. Then I'm just carefully going to score it slightly with my hobby knife. Not going to cut all the way through, just so there's a slight cut, so hopefully once I've painted this it will pick up the lines in the cardboard and make it look like panels. Then to stop the cardboard from curling, I just painted the cardboard with some Mod Podge, and just to make it a little bit more sturdy. Then it was onto the priming. So I did a spray of grey with a rattle can, and then just I did a light coat of black, and then it was on to painting with the acrylic paints, which I'm going to use a dark grey for the wings.
Can I just say liking and subscribing would really help the channel grow, thank you.
You can, and he just did. Thanks, George.
No problemo, big boy.
Dear God, he gets worse. Go back to your room. Okay, so like I said, what I've done here is I've just masked off some panels, so then once I've painted this grey, I can paint the panels blue. Oh, I'm using a big brush, just like MC told me to, because he always has a go at me because I'm always using a small thin brush. So this is just for you, MC, a nice big brush. So what I'm doing is just going to stipple on the grey all on the wings, and then I'm going to do the cargo container red just as contrast. Then I'm just painting the bars and the container edges silver, and it'll be ready for its glamour shot soon. That's after I've painted the panels. Before the panels, it was to paint the cockpit, and I kept it simple, just painted that black. And then I carefully peeled off the masking tape to reveal everything that hasn't been painted grey. And then what I used was blue just to fill in those panels that hadn't been painted. And once I painted all the panels, let it dry, and then used a bit of weathering powder. I didn't show that bit because you've seen me use the weathering powder already, just to give it some depth and contrast, and it's on to the glamour shots. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Keep scratching that build, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So what did we learn this week, George?
Scoring those panels really made a difference. Nice touch.
I thought so. Say goodnight, George.
Good night, George.
Keep scratching that build, everybody.